Spoilers for the latest episode of Daredevil Born Again. If you haven't seen it yet, be warned. Time to bust out the champagne because Vanessa is dead! Give me a break. First of all, she's a fictional character, and second of all, she got Foggy killed. So I think a little bit of celebration is in order. And also, she's been dead for like 10 years in the comics anyways, and I'm pretty sure that's just the count since the latest time she died, so honestly, if we're going by the comics, it was just a matter of time anyways. Comics Vanessa has a slightly different relationship with her husband Wilson and his criminal career, in that for a long while she was significantly less of an active participant than her television counterpart. Oh, and also they have a son together, Richard Fisk, who she killed after finding out that he was trying to have his father assassinated. Having finally dipped her toes into Wilson's world, you'd think it would have been some kind of criminal ne'er-do-well who killed her, but instead it was that old familiar nemesis of vague terminal illness. When will they find a cure? And then, who should get involved in Vanessa's life or afterlife, but, for fuck's sake, the Hand again! At this rate, half of my tie-in episodes to this show are gonna be about these assholes. Anyways, during one of their many changes in leadership, Kingpin himself was in charge, but a splinter group decided to resurrect Vanessa and send her up against Wilson as a test, only for her to return to the grave in her husband's arms. Because he killed her, thinking that she was just a mindless husk being puppeteered by the Hand, and mistaking an attempt to stop another assassin as an attempt on his life, in a pitch-perfect example of how Kingpin's own arrogance and brutality stops him from ever truly finding peace in life. But what do I know, I talk about movies and comics online. Oh, and then she was brought back as a clone by the Jackal. Not the original, Dr. Miles Warren, but Spider-Man's clone, Ben Reilly, who's had a really difficult, really stupid last decade. Reilly was hoping the show of goodwill would secure Kingpin's assistance, but then Kingpin snapped the clone's neck, putting him in a pretty exclusive club of having killed his own wife, and the same one at that, 2 out of 3 times. Okay, yeah, arguably only once, but Marvel's stance on clones is kind of weird, in that clones only really seem to count as separate people if the original's still alive, otherwise they treat them like the original. And then there was a point not too long before Devil's Reign where Kingpin got his hands on the Tablet of Life and Destiny with the intent of reviving Vanessa for real, but he ultimately decided to bring their son Richard back instead, who I'm kind of glad I'll probably never have an excuse to cover in depth just because Crime Boss dynasties exhaust me. Point is, I'm pretty sure based on all this that Vanessa will never again grace the MCU, except maybe for flashbacks, so all that's left to do now is kick back, grab some popcorn, and watch Kingpin absolutely lose his shit. Also, you know what, this doesn't fit with the episode subject, but I've had a theory since last season of Born Again, and I'm just gonna put it out there for the hell of it and call it a bonus segment. I think Daniel Blake is related to Detective Blake from the original Netflix show, one of the corrupt cops in Fisk's pocket who was assassinated by his partner on Fisk's orders. Maybe his son, maybe a nephew, I don't know, it's just kind of weird to me that you'd give one of Kingpin's most sycophantically loyal new assistants the same last name as a guy who Kingpin had killed, and not have that be a connection, you know? Anyways, we'll see how that goes.